The outbreak of war on the Western Front came suddenly. On August 3rd, Germany declared war on France. Both countries had envisioned different scenarios for how the war would erupt. The Schlieffen Plan, later modified by Helmut von Moltke, was based on the idea of a rapid and decisive defeat of the French army. The plan envisioned swift outflanking maneuvers through neutral Belgium to encircle and destroy French forces. By the beginning of August 1914, Germany had deployed 7 armies on the Western Front. The main threat came from the first 5 armies, which were to march through Belgium and Luxembourg, encircling the French from the left flank. At the same time, 2 additional armies were assigned to conduct defensive operations in Alsace-Lorraine, the province France had lost to Germany in the Franco-Prussian War of 1870–1871. The entire Western campaign was projected to be completed within 6 weeks, after which German forces would be redeployed to the Eastern Front against Russia. The French had their own operational plan, codenamed Plan 17, which emphasized offensive operations. Its foundation rested on the concept of élan, or the fighting spirit of French soldiers, which was believed capable of overcoming enemy firepower. According to the plan, the French would advance along 2 main lines, 2 armies into Lorraine, 3 into the Ardennes forest and southern Belgium, and an initial push into Alsace. By August 1914, the German army, after mobilization, numbered approximately 2.3 million soldiers on the Western Front. This was a professional force infused with the spirit of Prussian militarism. German tactics relied heavily on artillery during offensive operations and a command system that allowed a certain degree of autonomy for field commanders. France, in contrast, deployed an army of about 3 million soldiers at the outbreak of the war, but despite its numerical advantage, the French army had several weaknesses. Its uniforms, consisting of bright red trousers and blue jackets, made soldiers highly visible targets and were soon revised. The Lebel rifle was heavier and slower to reload than the German Gewehr 98, which was easier to handle, more reliable, and capable of faster sustained fire. French preparedness was also uneven. Due to limited funding and reliance on the doctrine of élan, French soldiers were often less well equipped than their German counterparts. On August 4th, Germany began its offensive through Belgium. The attack started with a massive assault on the fortified city of Liege near the eastern border. Initially, the Belgians resisted with notable success. The garrison included about 40,000 men, largely specialized fortress defenders. German frontal attacks failed to break through the defenses. The Germans then employed new methods of warfare, including Zeppelin airships for bombing and massive siege howitzers. With little means to resist this bombardment, the last Belgian fortresses fell on August 16th. The delay gained from August 4th allowed the Allies valuable time to prepare their defenses. After occupying Belgium, the Germans suppressed the civilian population. Numerous instances of civilians being punished or killed without legal process occurred. The Germans used such atrocities as collective punishment for military losses and to intimidate Belgian resistance. Reports of these events, including the burning of towns such as Louvain and the execution of hundreds of civilians in Dinant and Tamines, shocked the world and became major sources of Allied propaganda. Battle of Mulhouse. French forces launched their first offensive under Plan 17 by advancing into Alsace with the goal of recapturing Mulhouse. General Berneux's 7th Corps initially achieved success, briefly taking the city, but German counterattacks forced a rapid retreat. Later, French attempt temporarily regained control, yet logistical difficulties, communication problems and strong German resistance compelled another withdrawal. The engagements exposed limitations in French planning, particularly the challenges of coordinating complex operations across multiple corps and maintaining momentum in the face of organized enemy defenses. Battle of Lorraine. French 1st and 2nd armies moved into Lorraine with the expectation of quickly overwhelming German forces. However, they encountered well-prepared German positions, including fortified lines and effective artillery. The German counteroffensive pushed the French back, demonstrating the vulnerability of frontal assaults against modern defensive tactics. This battle highlighted the tension between the French emphasis on offensive alone and the practical realities of firepower, entrenchments, and terrain. It also illustrated the importance of reconnaissance and coordination in planning large-scale attacks. Battle of the Ardennes. French 3rd and 4th armies advanced into the Ardennes expecting light opposition, but the dense terrain hampered coordination. Well-positioned German forces inflicted heavy losses, exposing the risks of poor reconnaissance and rigid adherence to doctrine. Battle of Charleroi. The French 5th Army attempted to cross the Sambre River to engage the Germans, aiming to link with neighboring forces and maintain offensive momentum. German preemptive maneuvers, however, outflanked the French positions, forcing a strategic withdrawal. General Lanzerac's decision to retreat preserved the army and prevented a potential encirclement, showing the critical importance of adaptive leadership under pressure. The battle underscored that even when numerical or positional advantages exist, poor coordination or misjudged enemy movements can significantly affect outcomes. The British Expeditionary Force, or the BEF, though numerically small, was a professional and highly disciplined force. Its well-trained soldiers and advanced equipment allowed it to punch above its weight, influencing the early course of the Western Front. Battle of Mons. The BEF held a key sector against the German First Army, using disciplined rifle fire and defensive tactics to inflict heavy losses. Despite this success, the French retreat on their flank forced the BEF to withdraw, showing how tactical victories could be undermined by the wider situation. Battle of Le Cateau. During the retreat, Smith-Doran's 2nd Corps staged a determined defense at Le Cateau that delayed the German advance. This stand preserved the cohesion of the BEF and bought the Allies critical time to reorganize ahead of the Battle of the Marne.